on social media. My name is Yoneda Joshua, but people call me Icon J. And you are on to Let's Talk About It, a show where we talk about a lot of uncomfortable truths, provoking you with some kind of thoughts, and also enlightening you on lots of things that's happening across society and giving vivid solutions to many of these problems. And as you know, I'm not always the only one on this set actually. Forget the only one. I have some very weird friends with me in the studio. I call them weird because they're weird for days actually. So ladies and gentlemen, Caro is here looking very pretty. And Lex is here looking very weird.
Homeless. Oh, 3-0.
Caro, introduce yourself first.
Hi everybody, I'm Carol Laura and you're welcome.
Lex, don't be down.
I am
Stop.
Prince Alex.
Oh.
Don't stop. I know she said you look homeless actually. I'm talking about looking homeless. Our topic today surrounds that line.
Yeah.
For many of you that understand what's happening in the country currently, you discover that the poverty line is kind of high. And despite the fact that the government is doing a lot of things to ensure that at least they can tone down poverty, it seems everything isn't working actually. Poverty is still on the increase. As we speak in Nigeria, it's most likely, according to statistics, that over 100 million are within that poverty line. Imagine having half your population in the poverty line. It's kind of scary. And with us in the studio is an analyst, is a public affairs analyst, is a social commentator, is an economist to a very large extent. He's also a teacher, and many people know he's a man of many sides actually. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Abiodun. Welcome to the show.
You're
Mr.
welcome,
Abiodun.
sir.
Yeah, it's been a while I saw you.
Good to have you.
It's been a while actually, it's been a while, and this particular time we are seeing at a time when a lot of people is talking about a lot of things, especially when it comes to the Nigerian economy. Now, the government talks about poverty all the time.
Yeah.
The reason why we elect people there is to ensure that at least prosperity can be shared. It's not just good that just a sect are prospering. Everybody needs to prosper. But as we speak today, despite a lot of policies put in place, the poverty line keeps increasing. What's your take on the current situation we have in Nigeria, poverty-wise?
Well, thanks very much for the question. First and foremost, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here once again. And if you look at the state of Nigeria, you'll feel nothing but, pitiable states. In Nigeria, there used to be a country that flows with milk and honey. It's not the one that flows with quagmire. So if you look at it vividly, the reason for the emergence of every government is to make a change, not just a change but a notable change. So we have discovered that ever since the emergence of this government in power, Nigeria has degraded to all-time low. So we've never had it so bad. People are living in extreme poverty. According to the reports that was released from the office of the FBS, Federal Bureau of Statistics, 2022, it was reported that about 61% of the population of Nigeria, that's 133 million people, living beyond the poverty line. So just imagine, that was 2022. Compare this and this, the situation we are facing now. So it's an high soar. So I believe, despite the fact that the government are telling us that government at all levels, the federal government and the subnationals, they are telling us they are actually doing something about this, but we feel that all we are hearing, just photo ops, we just read news on paper, but nothing has been able to, yes, that's just it. So, and then I think it is idiotic to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. So when this government came in, the campaign or the mantra of a renewed hope agenda, but you will agree with me that it has not become renewed hopelessness. Permit me to just tell you this, especially the president himself, while he was campaigning, he spoke in Yoruba, he told us Emilokon. That has been a palace that's used by many people, Emilokon. So I'm very sorry, it's quite unfortunate that Emilokon has now turned to Enekon Lomo. It's now affecting everybody, so to say. So the state of the nation is bad, People are hungry. So I think that's what I can say as touching that.
Well, now looking at it, Miriam, do we just totally take the blame towards the federal? Because we had a guest actually on the show, and he was commenting on the fact that the federal really cannot be blamed because Nigeria is practicing federalism. That is, we have government at the central, we have government at the state, we have government at the local, and everyone has their lead responsibilities. So if each one of them are not coming up to their responsibilities, no matter the policies we have at the central, it can't affect even down to the lowest. What's your take on this particular statement?
Well, my take is that no subnational can be independent of the federal government. You understand? And I believe every now and then they used to have a federal executive council meeting whereby the governor and the president they deliberate. So if you are telling me that the whole blame should not be shifted on the president, I think I will not totally agree with that. Reason being that when you came in, you said nobody should pity you. There's a problem you came in to come and solve. So complaining should not be the order of the day, or apportioning blame to the government that has been in power and that has gone. So now when we are talking about the multinationals, for example, when on May 29, to be precise, during the swearing in, the president point blankly told Nigerians that fuel subsidy is gone. And we knew in the 2023 budget, provisions were made until June. So why would you remove fuel subsidy on the 29th of May, even on the day that you were being sweared in? So it's something that is devoid of empathy to the Nigerian public. Even though you are going to do that, there must be a counterbalance measure. It's just removing fuel subsidy is just like removing the shock absorber. So counterbalance measure must be in place to cushion the effects of what is going to happen, the aftermath of the removal of fuel subsidy. That has been the last blow that has broke the camel's back, and we have been battling with that. I think the price of PMS affect virtually everything in this country. So even the market woman selling tomato will tell you that, okay, I am selling this tomato at this particular price because fuel, the price of fuel has skyrocketed. So it affects everything. So I want to say, another thing is this, two major policies. Now, the floating of the Naira. Imagine using our forest reserve to defend the Naira. And now, the Naira against all odds has not been able to stand on its feet. The Naira keep falling, keeps collapsing, just like the national grid. In this country, everything just keeps collapsing. You have to just look at it, and without prejudice. You have to eat the lane on the edge, say the truth the way it is to be said. Because at the end of the day, when you say the truth, you will die. And if you refuse to say it, you will also die. Apologies to Dino Melaye. So the president is to be blamed.
Okay.
If you are going to ask me,
let me ask you this. Do you have any issue with the previous administration before that? Like their policies, things that were set in place. Did you see anything wrong?
A
lot, right? Now, stop there. Now, what's the damage that was caused by the previous administration? Can it be fixed within 3 or 1 year? Let's say within 3 months or a year.
Thank you very much, Prince Alex. A serious government that wants to get to work, you tell it to Nigeria via your actions that you really mean business. When this government came in power, the first thing the president did was, allocating funds to judiciary, humongous funds, so to say. You are taking our money to the foreign countries to go and buy SUVs. Imagine a lawmaker getting SUG that's to the tune of 16 million naira. 105 million. Thank you. Thanks for that. So, cutting down the cost of governance would have reduced the quagmire in this country today. That the state of comatose, the economy had been reduced to, it would have been minimal. But how do you tell Nigerians to endure? Like the president says, just endure this baby step of pain because I am doing it. Is there any sign that
step of pain is not a giant step?
Is there any sign that you are enduring? Is there any sign that you are feeling the plight of an average Nigerian? No, you are not feeling it. Imagine religion that should be personal to an individual. You approve 90 billion for people to go to Hajj. Something that could be done. If you can't go to Hajj, then stay at home. What are you going to do there exactly? Okay, you increase a judicial officer salary by 300%. A lot of things. Now, you are building the vice president apartments. which was said to have been about some amount of money had been said. So the total expenditure on that building is about 21 billion. Now, if a civil servant want to work to acquire 21 billion, such a civil servant would have worked more than maybe 25,000 years, so to say. With my calculation, that means that person has to reappear, reincarnate again, come again and again. That is the money that is expended on the apartment. Just a single individual want to stay. So is that any sign of showing empathy? So all these, if you ask us to endure, we must see leaders lead by example. Leadership is not about coercion or imposition. It's about you exhibiting some traits that will make people to willfully submit to your leadership. That no, this person is doing something right. Look at Argentina. For the first time in 30 years, there was no inflation in Argentina within 6 months. That is what a serious government should do. The president, in my own opinion, and this is personal to me, he has just he's just in power to enrich his cronies, his clansmen. So long they are enriched, so they can just get away with what they could at the expense of an average Nigeria, the populace.
So I think what you're saying majorly is the fact that the government is not showing signs of empathy.
Exactly.
That is to say, not really about the policies now. It's majorly about your own kind of character. If you are telling me that you can't pay my minimum wage or something like that, you yourself should have reduced your own wage to a large extent. Because I was telling someone something which I think Lex should do. I said the percentage of the budget on cost of governance is way lower. However, the way it is being promoted shows that they are wasting money in that arena. So definitely people want to attain to that height because we are selling prosperity to them, whereas there is poverty. But now you talked about some kind of policies. Now I want to ask a question here because it was the reason why I brought out the issue of the state governors and the local governments. Now, former President Muhammad Buhari did something. He talked about the executive for that term, that we should go back to financially autonomous, that's fiscal autocracy of state legislature, state judiciary, and the local government as provided in the constitution. And the state governors fought against it. Now, when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu got in the first month, he first of all increased the wages, the allocations, the FAAC given to many states, and also added palliatives to them. There are many states till today, I don't know, for those that were in the states, I had friends that said they did not receive. I had friends that said they
the
received.
one of Kogi State.
No,
don't bother.
we all know Kogi State.
It's 500 naira and 1 mudu of rice.
500 naira and 1 module of rice in Kogi State. Whereas we saw governors like Babangana Zulu of Borno State. We talk about Bagu in Niger State and some few states that actually did distribute, because we talked about cushioning effects. Because what other cushioning effects do we expect the governor, the president should give, aside palliatives like that, to ease the tension first before the next move comes up? So are we now saying that it's only the federal government we can blame totally on this, or we also look at the inadequacies of other factors in the government?
Well, thank you very much. Like the financial autonomy you talked about, for many years now, long before now, the governors used to corner the allocations meant for the local governments. That being said, if you say maybe when President Tinubu came in, he sent a palliative, he increased the FAC given to his state. Now we need to be circumspect. Now, what was the value of a naira a few years ago? What is the value of the naira now? Now, if the subnational, they are targeting some group of individuals. I was aware in Ondo State that maybe about for 6 months, the governor paid the total amount of 35,000 naira to civil servants as palliative. Now, how about those who are not civil servants? If you want to do something, it should be felt by an average Nigerian. Like we were promised CNG buses. What have we seen? To his transportation burden on people, we have not seen anything. Now, if you say you send palliative, when you give people food, for how long is it going to sustain them? For how long? How many governor, like, okay, we want to, I want to commend the governor Zulu, you know, everything is doing so, it's out there on the media, and Governor Bago, even recently I heard that Governor Bago gave, I don't know how true that is, he gave the NYC, their core members, 200,000 naira.
It was just a promise, actually.
Just a promise.
It's a promise.
So, and then again, if you are to look at the other side of it, you know, when President Tinubu came into power, something happened, especially to the humanitarian ministry. The rots, they will just tell you they did a conditional cash transfer to Nigeria. Little did you know, those conditional cash transfer, they were audio money. So you begin to ask, how many people have received this conditional cash transfer? I don't know, maybe they are sending the cash transfer to ghosts. Now, although we cannot exonerate the governors, the subnational, because they have a lot to do, many of them are greedy. Like there was a report that came out that within 3 months, they use about close to $1 billion for refreshments. What are they using for refreshments? So this is outrageous. This is what can only happen in Nigeria. And I know some of the African politicians, the African leaders, they will be envious of what we are going through, because they believe, despite the fact that these people are doing all this, they are committing anomalies that are affront on our sensibility as a people, but yet our docility will just make us to, you know, to continue to adapt. One of my lecturers once said, when you push Nigerians to the wall, an average Nigerian, he or she will find a means to break the wall and run. Instead of him to just turn, I said, no, enough is enough. So I think the government, they are just government at all levels, to say, they are just playing hide and seek. Do something that is visible. Now, why is it that government used to, you know, exhibit a kind of apathy to anything that concerns an average Nigeria? Now, when you wanted to pass into law the national anthem, I don't know what was wrong with the former one.
You know, if we sing this one in time of all,
it was
inspired.
You know, is it not insensitive for the Senate President to say this new national anthem will reduce the incursion of bandits in Nigeria? You know, because they changed it from our motherland, from our fatherland to our motherland.
After that, there were 2 bombings in Borno State, back to back.
So the man who says, President Tinubu will handle economy, I will handle security. That's the vice president. So has the security of the nation improved? Has it improved? And now, see, if we are going to be self-sufficient in terms of food production, we cannot roll out investment in agriculture. And how do we invest in agriculture and get the appropriate return, the proportionate returns, without security? Imagine farmers. They are not being able to go to their farms again. In this part of the country, a Fulani herdsman can just come into your farm, destroy your crop. So, in some particular locations in the northern region, you have to pay a certain amount before you harvest. Then when they are transporting those goods to this very place, they have to, you know, so this is, what is the government doing? Can people just sleep with their two eyes closed? So the security architecture needs to be rigid, it's porous. For all I could remember now, for within the last 8 years now, the service ships, they have been checked for more than 3 or 4 times. I just see. Now, you are appointing service ship, the ship that needs to be serviced themselves. So, in a situation where you need to be serviced, how do you now service the nation in terms of, we discover that anybody that comes out to tell Nigerians the real situation of the Nigerians' security, you know, those kind of people, they are tried, maybe the courts martial them, what have you, because they are removed. So, but then a lot is happening. There are some people benefiting largely from the insecurity of the nation. Now, I want to say this, and I want to be emphatic on it, is that, you know, they said General Abacha once made a statement that if insecurity lasts more than how many hours? Maybe 24 hours. Insurgency, that means powers are big, they are involved. They are involved. So there's some Nigeria is a dramatic nation, so to say. It was all in the news then that the now vice president, Abbott Boko Haram member, I think
the cable news did
the same man is the vice president of the country. Even the president has once been, you know, in indictments, what have you, he has forfeited. Now, why do we always allow the worst of us to rule the best of us? So it's just pitiable. Now, coming back to coming back to food production. Now, if you look at the budget, how much? I love the fact that Governor Bago is doing well. Instead of him buying SUV, he's buying tractors.
Yeah.
You're cultivating about 150,000 or thereabouts hectares of land.
Yeah.
You know, it's self-sufficient. Now, I remember, I don't want to mention him, one of the presidential aspirants then, he said, let's move from consumption to production. Let us produce. And how do we produce when there is no enabling environment? It is a foolish man that will say we should bury the corpse before digging the grave.
I think
What
I'm
received
even
the other?
having a particular concern about this when it comes to production. Recently, the CBN increased their interest rates to 30%. Then we saw Dangote jumping out because I think it's going to affect him. He said, this is not acceptable. How do you intend to create jobs? You get when you have an interest rate of 30%, because we will rather employ less and maybe enforce those people to do more than they can handle. You understand? So there are policies that I feel that we should also look at emphatically and see how we are really dealing with the economic situations. Now, let's also understand that poverty in Nigeria currently is about over 80% of the population in the country. Over 80% of the working population.
No more middle class.
Yes. Now, if it's over 80%, what are we doing to cushion the effect? Conditional transfer is the wrong bait.
Yeah.
The wrong bait. Now, this is let's talk about it. I think we should actually talk about it.
We are talking about
Yes. I want to really say some things here, because you are giving conditional transfers to individuals, 50,000, 100,000, 150,000 to different families.
Yeah.
For how long? Do you understand? Now, whatever you are given is not enough to buy a bag of rice. While we are looking for conditional transfer as a short means to tackle inflation, or as a short means to tackle poverty in Nigeria, is that sustainable? Why not invest that funds into, let's say, subsidy? Food subsidy, for instance.
Okay, so
Do you understand?
You are saying that Nigerian government should have shifted from petroleum subsidy
Exactly.
to food subsidy.
Now, that would have been a short-term thing. Now, even the petroleum subsidy, we are all aware that there is a 5 trillion budget for subsidy this year. We paid 3 trillion for subsidy last year. But yet, we are getting fuel at
A more expensive.
so
rate.
why
So
subsidy if we are getting PMS at a more higher rate? Then who is really benefiting? Because you cannot tell us it's partial subsidy. We were there in 2021, 2022 when all the partial subsidy started and petrol landed at 190, 160 to 170. Do you understand? That was partial subsidy. We were told
It was more
from
expensive.
19 naira to 160.
Well, one of the things I just told you is because I'm looking at something here, and you will agree with me. You know, the other day Carol was talking about market prices and all that, and she was talking about the fact that this thing has gotten expensive. Only God knows what's made tomatoes get exceedingly expensive, you know, pepper and all those kind of things. But now let us look at it from this perspective, because I think if we are not careful, we only just keep pouring out anger. I want to just throw this question open to everyone. Like, if you were in the position of the president right now, what will you have done differently to ensure that the inflation comes down within a space of 6 months?
Audience. If you are the president,
and you know
yeah.
the funny part is we trying to. I'm not saying the president is not to be blamed, but can we just shift a little bit and look at the loopholes? The president is just a one person checking out the population of
The country
Nigerians or people living in Nigeria, because
Yeah.
we don't just have Nigerians alone in the country.
Yeah.
So we have some people that has been designated to do some assignments, and they are duly paid
Yeah.
to do that. Can we just look at that? what are these people? What have they been doing?
Especially the
It's so bad that even you don't know your local government chairman.
I don't even know the person.
Checking back, no, let's dig. When we are digging, let's dig deep. Because if we don't dig deep, we cannot get to get the water. Because to get water while digging a well, you have to dig
As deep
and
as
keep
possible.
digging until you get there. You feel even meet stone for there, you go break am.
Yeah.
Because there are people that have been, when we start to say it's okay, the government is this, the government is that. Who are the government?
We are the government.
There are people there that are making decisions. Before the Senate president decided to pass the bill that okay, we are going to change
The national
the national. Somebody brought up the issue. The whole house were there. Everybody was saying okay till second reading. Before it was so fast. Second reading, before you know it, it becomes a law.
We had different people from different political parties and different.
And they are well represented.
And everybody agreed.
And they agreed.
Quick.
And majority agreed before it's been passed into a law. If there is no majority, then there is no law. Then they say yes.
We the citizens
nay.
that we are complaining, what did we do about it?
And do you even know the problem is
The point is this:
Yeah.
who are the majority in the house? Who are the majority? A video made rounds on social media about maybe two or 3 weeks after the bill was passed.
okay.
That President Tinubu said if he had his way, he's going to revert. So it's just like some of the honorable members in the house, they were just working according to scripts. So the bidding, if we are going to be circumspect on this matter, they just did the bidding of the president. Now, how do they pass bill? Okay, those who are in support say, and those who are before you know what, they don't want to take cognizance, even to opposition. Like yesterday, is an honorable member from I've forgotten now, when Benjamin Kalu was presiding. He now said he raised the question. He said, why is it that you used to give preference to ranking members? You don't want to even identify with first timers, because the point is even first timers they even have ideas. Some of the people in this Ado chamber, they have been there for long, no contribution. Why do we have to wait for anti-people's policy to now affect us?
It's waiting until it will okay, this thing is going to affect them.
Yeah.
But we're not looking at the masses.
The generality.
We're not looking at the masses. So that's what I'm saying, that if we keep on saying it's about the president, we will not get out of it.
Now, if we
It's
even
not
say
just
it's
about the president.
You have the resources of Nigeria at your beck and call. Anybody that do not perform, that doesn't perform well, fire that person. Okay, we can point out some few ministers who are actually doing well.
Yeah.
In fairness to them.
Yeah.
But there are some, they are just sleeping. What are they doing?
I don't want particularly.
Who are,
I don't blame you.
okay, what is the mayor for evaluating them? What is their scorecard for the last 1 year? What have they been
They even
doing?
promised us that we are going to be doing a quarterly scorecard for them. I thought some ministers.
Because
Even
the
the last
issue-
1 year, we only saw them on TV.
Because solving poverty is it's a very large word. As simple as it may sound, it's huge. And before you know it, we won't come out of it if we keep putting up our blames on a particular person that we don't even say every day.
Now, Carol, can I just say something?
Yeah.
The president, the trajectory of his government for about 7 or 8 months, will travel out of the country to woo investors.
Yeah.
Okay.
No leader in his right mind does that. There are things you put in place that you woo investors to come. No, foreign direct investments, it's like Nigeria is alien to FDI ever since the emergence of President Tinubu. Now, the question we need to ask is, why are multinationals leaving Nigeria? If Dangote happen to be multinational, it's not from Nigeria. Perhaps for Dangote to have spoken out, that means there's problem. So that means he would have even left the country. Can
If
you
he
count
was
the
not in
multinationals?
Nigeria.
Yeah.
Now, when you are not providing them, is it not somehow? It's like insensible to me.
But
How will you be going out to woo foreign investors? Why those right in your country are living? So as an investor, I will try to give it a second thought. The people in your country that are investors,
Yeah.
why are they living?
Do you know what I see from this conversation? Is it that we go back to trade by barter? Because yes, it will get to that. Where you sew my clothes, I make your wife's hair. You sell tomatoes for me, I sell hair to you. We do
Is that
exchange
what you
because
did?
because even in the grassroots, if you start to produce and I don't have a cash to pay for it, bro, we exchange. Transaction ti ṣẹlẹ̀, man.
Transaction has been happening for days now. It has been
But-
happening for months.
Because
Always-
we're
There's sense in
already
what
switching.
Karol
We're already
is saying.
switching
Yes,
back.
we are going
Are you
back
telling
to-
me we've not started doing it
But
already?
let's
Go to
see
campuses,
Aside
check
from
up on
what
the students,
Karol-
check how they are
aside from
living.
what Karol is saying, aside
They
from what
exchange
Karol is
skills
saying,
to get something.
aside from what Karol is saying, because life is definitely about value. We saw what is happening what happened in Kenya. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
we are seeing what some people are already saying. If Nigeria is not careful, it's Marx law.
Yeah.
It's Max Weber already said it.
Yeah.
Many sociologists already said, many economists from time already said. If we get to the time, if the black rights are not well taken care of, there is no time we will not turn on the bourgeoisies. That is, no matter what, the time will come when the poor will turn on the rich. You said something the other time. You said if the time Nigerians are the ones that they push through the wall, they would rather break that wall and run than turn. But we saw 2020. 2020 was a strong eye-opener for us. We had the NSAS protest. I was on the protest ground. You were on the protest ground. You saw on the protest
Yeah.
ground. All of us were there. We saw youths literally come out to say enough is enough when it pertains to police brutality. Though it extended more than we expected, and
Yeah.
it escalated
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
what happened in October 10, 2020. Now, with what happened in Kenya, and with the hunger rates in this country going that high, it's hardly any solution.
Like, are you seeing us going into the
Are you
house?
seeing us going into that? Because some people have actually predicted way before now that a time might come that since the youth will do that, they will do worse, and it will be worse. Are you saying, or are you suspecting in any way, or what do you foresee when it comes to the place of stability? Will it ever get to that point if you are not careful?
We are the threshold already. You want to hear the truth?
The pressure is getting worse.
Yes.
It's worse.
We are, we are the threshold. You know, how do you keep people below the poverty line? Anything that is meant to bring support to the populace, the government always wants to just hijack.
Okay.
So it's like they derive joy in seeing Nigerians living in discomfort, which is not good. And I think there are one thing about Nigeria. I have a reservation if I say we are the threshold. Okay. On the other hand, if Nigerians come out today that want to protest, enough is enough, we are revolting against the government. There are some non-state actors too that the government can hire. Look at what happened during NSAS.
Yeah.
So, and you know, you keep people beyond poverty line, you control their mind with resources. So when you give them money, they will send you to me to come and attack me. So it will demoralize whatever we are doing. So that will bring it to a knot or fruition. I mean, it will bring it to nothingness. So if we can just unanimously agree that we have common enemies. Since 1960, we have been saying this country will get. Now, can I say this? Now, people might. I don't want people to see me maybe as a.
antagonist.
No, you have your opinion.
This is the truth.
Yeah.
We have been praying for Nigeria from time immemorial. Has a prayer done anything? I'm a Christian, so to say. Now, can prayer go to the polling booths and votes?
No.
Ask me.
No, it can't. So it is high time we came out to do what is needful. Now, my scripture did tell me that when the righteous is in power, the people rejoice. That means the responsibility, the onus is on us to elect righteous people. Now, righteousness does, according to my own opinion, it does not necessarily mean you are a Christian.
Yeah.
Righteousness is not only right living, but also right doing. You know the right thing to be done and you do it. Why is China? When you look from your sitting room to your bedroom, virtually 90% of everything you have made in China. This
Even when
90% of
let me just clear that. Do you know that some of these materials that are made in China are actually made in the East?
Of course.
Because the little time I spent in the East, there are some things they produce, and at the end of the day, they'll just put Gucci.
Made in China.
Because you know we value items coming from
Of
those
course,
areas.
because if you don't see that trademarks, you don't get to buy them. But we can actually produce. It's not like we're not producing. The fact is, people are not being, they don't have enough infrastructure
Actually,
to produce. They don't have enough materials. But we're actually creative and we can produce.
So what is government doing to boost the
That's what I'm coming to, Mr. Biodun. Mr. Biodun, we're going to a stage whereby we're going to ignore government. ignore them like they never existed, and we're going to focus on ourselves. Like, okay, this is my street. In my street, we produce tomatoes, we produce pepper, we produce bags, we produce shoes, we produce wear. And if you're in this community, you're not wearing anything aside, what will produce?
Nigerians buy. As in Nigeria.
Are we? Wait, you think we've not started buying? Okay, no. Let's start with our governors. Let's start with our governors. You know that most of our governors now put on shoes made from Nigeria. Are you watching them closely? Even the king, the known kings.
Wait.
Wait.
Okay, Ooni of Ife in an interview sometimes before he said I designed my shoes myself. That's the king.
Wait, but let me make something known to you. I've been in Nigeria. We are all Nigerians. Nigeria has this problem from time. We have this classist mentality. Every Nigerian, 68% of Nigerians wants to be bigger than his neighbor. That's why we have generator we call like pass it.
I pass my neighbor here.
Everybody wants to be bigger than everybody.
Oh yeah.
I told someone something. Lie about your Gucci. I've seen Gucci many times, the original ones online. Sometimes I prefer those what we term the Abam made Gucci, because those guys to me are more creative than even the actual Gucci. They produce some good designs way better than that. We have Nigerian foods, Nigerian rice. Do you know that many of the foreign rice we eat today,
they are still Nigerian rice? They're just rebagged.
Let's just be truthful with ourselves. We just change the package.
Yes.
That is to say, even this ideology of our rice is stoning could be a scam, because many of our rice actually is what we package in the foreign materials. In all sincerity.
Okay, if our rice gets stoned, Biko, our gari nko?
Our gari don't get stoned.
No, they're not they do gari for abroad. I don't understand.
Don't you think that to a very large extent,
a friend of mine was telling me,
told lies.
A friend of mine was telling me that in the
self-sufficiency.
UK, he went to buy gari in one of the stores.
Okay.
Ijebu gari made in Ghana.
Oh. You people should just stop this, please.
No, we are talking about government leading by example, right? Now, instead of the government going abroad to go and buy SUVs to the tune of 160 million, why don't we patronize innocent?
I was coming to that. I was actually.
Now, just imagine getting 30 million vehicle, remove 30 million from 160 million, then combine that money, infuse it into the economy, or maybe give it to just as a loan to small and medium scale enterprises.
Yeah.
The government, they love majoring the minor and minoring the major.
I want to make.
It's not that we don't know the right thing to do. We learn the will. We just don't want to
make
do
an
it.
analogy.
And the government will take the lead.
I have an issue. Wait, you talk.
Wait first.
Okay.
Do you know that President Muhammadu Buhari had lots of things like the farmer money, the trader money?
Yeah.
Do you know that of all governments in this country, if they say that it was a government that actually indeed invested in agriculture, even locked the borders to improve local production, Muhammadu Buhari did that.
Yeah.
But still, we did not have food sufficiency.
Okay.
Because it was later discovered that many of our marketers were not even selling within the country, they sold outside the country.
Yeah.
So
It's painful that we import red oil.
So how do we talk about this here now? Someone was saying that as we speak, the fastest way out of this is to open all borders. And I made that suggestion that I don't trust Nigerians to that extent, because we have a people problem.
See, let me tell you something.
Wait here. I asked a question, and because we know that we are already getting to a time where we have to crescendo, I'm only trying to bring us to time. If you were in place of power now,
what are you
let me tell you what I would do.
What would you do differently?
Let me tell you what I would do. I want to tell you one thing that I would do. Let's say as a foreign affairs minister, or maybe trade, the minister of trade and commerce.
Okay.
I discovered that the highest number of cars in Nigeria is made by Toyota. What is stopping me from telling Toyota, come and do your plants in Nigeria, your coupling plants in Nigeria? It's going to be more cheaper. We will have you employ our people. We won't have to import.
With what
Since
infrastructure?
We have the infrastructure. Is innocent not coupling cars in Nigeria?
With what
is
electricity?
No, it's not in Nigeria. So
in fact,
you,
an
now,
electric vehicle was
coupled recently in Ikorodu. Now, what I'm saying is, there is just a priority of always importing.
Yeah.
Now, if we so much love imports as a government, I will say, okay, fine. Instead of allowing you import, I'll bring them. Come and start it in Nigeria. So they can start competing with you. You get sense. Do you understand? When they start taking your businesses from you and thriving in your country, nobody go teach you sense.
But do you know one funny thing?
If Toyota starts that stuff in Nigeria, the highest number of cars drive in, that is being driven in Nigeria is Toyota. Of any product is Toyota. So why is Toyota not having? And we are the highest patronizers of Toyota, from their Land Cruisers to whatever you want to call it.
Love the name actually. That's just
Do you understand? Do you get? If we tell Toyota, come and open a plant in Nigeria. If we tell Toyota that if you're not doing this, they will stop patronizing you. Toyota will run down to Nigeria because we are the highest patronizers in Nigeria. Check, of every 100 cars you see in a day, 78 or 80 of them is Toyota brand.
Yeah.
So why are we not doing that? What is the Minister of Trade and Commerce doing?
she travels.
Just travel and attend conferences.
But okay, Mr. Abiodun,
Let's have Mr.
let me just have your own
Opinion.
share
Yeah,
as we round off quickly.
Thank you very much. You know, it is high time the leaders, they started looking inward. All right. For example, I discovered that many of Nigerian leaders, they don't believe in our products.
Okay.
Look at our education system. Somebody said, you want to destroy a country, don't use a ballistic missile,
Yeah.
don't use bomb, just destroy the education system. What is the budget being allocated? Now they believe that, some of our graduates, they believe an engineer in Nigeria, an engineer, a road engineer, a civil engineer, builds a road. You get it? They don't believe that it can.
Can work.
I had the story of a particular university that a student, crafted out an helicopter. And the lecturer said, no, I cannot fly, because they don't believe. Now, how about we looking inward and believing in our own products? The people, now, the reason why we are having brain drain, because our leaders don't appreciate what we have here. It is not necessary you bring in multinationals to come and do some things. Why don't you bring this expatriate, train our people? I heard of a doctor who happened to be a surgeon, graduated from OAU. He was the first surgeon who performed a surgery. He brought out a photos from the womb, did an operation, removed something from the womb of the mother, and returned the baby, a Nigerian man. So many of them are doing well. Why are they there? Why are we not now? If we need anything, we will now be hiring expatriates here. So that is not the best. I think Prince Alex has said a part of it. Well, let us bring those people here. Now, we want to build infrastructure. There is something we call BOT, build, operate and transfer.
Yeah.
Let them build. You sign an MOU agreement. When they build, in line with our own people here, they study. They take time to study. A presidential aspirant went to Egypt to go and study their power. Do you think it was crazy when he did that? So what are these people doing differently? Let us replicate everything here, so that Nigeria is going to be a cynosure of all lives. It's quite unfortunate that they are not doing this. So that is the pain, the agony. Do we really trust in our own? Now they tell you, patronize made in Nigeria. Do this. Are they doing it? An average Nigerian politician, they have their kids abroad. When our education system has collapsed,
Our entertainment industry is a big blow on our.
I am telling you, there was a trend.
Production in Nigeria.
There was a trend that was done on Twitter. Lagos school series. People used to say Lagos, it built Lagos, built Lagos. What did they build in Lagos? I want to tell us, Carol, overtaxing people does not amount to development. If we are going to look at, if any development is going to take place, that should be commensurate to the IGR coming into the coffers of Lagos. Lagos should be competing with Cape Verde. But what are we seeing? Now there is rain here. Within how many hours? Flood everywhere. So long term, let us, sustainability plan. Another thing we lack is sustainability plan.
Okay.
Number two, what? Somebody said, maybe their lights is, the power stuff is improving now. So I don't know about that. But then,
Okay.
why is it that now? It's quite unfortunate. Was it Dele Farrow to me that said the national grid of Nigeria keeps collapsing, but the national grid, GRWED of the leaders keep increasing. So it's all about them. It's all about them. If you want us to follow, you lead by example. So you not be the one to tell me. You made mention of Dr. Mines. Dr. Mines was one of my most read author, a leader by excellence. So when you see me manifesting some kind of attributes, I learned it from that man. He said, look at people with good traits.
Yeah.
The reason why some of us Nigerians are voting for some leader is for personal gain. Some people say instead of them, going all out that my involvement in this election should be for the interest of my body. They will say it will favor me and my family.
Yeah.
What happens to a country that favors all? That is a question.
It will favor me and my family, self. No, it will favor anybody.
Nobody's now standing on the mandate again.
Honestly.
But it's well,
Honestly.
it's well actually. I think one of the things I picked here is that the national grid keeps collapsing, but the national greed
Keeps increasing.
Well, something must stand, though.
Something has to stand.
Something has to stand,
Yeah.
actually, and I think I really appreciate this discussion. If you ask me, what would I have done differently as president of this country to reduce hunger? Well, I think I don't know. I'll just help everybody.
Please
with that.
ask our audience this question.
I will ask you this question. You can put it in the comment section. Actually, what will you do differently,
Yeah.
or what will you suggest to be done to ensure that the hunger or the poverty line is totally reduced within the country? Well, that's still the question.
Time
Before you-
frame within 6 months. That was what you said.
Okay, within
Yeah,
6
within
months.
6
Yeah,
months,
the first
yeah.
6 months actually. I think everybody should know that. Everybody, must actually know something about it. And we hope that it doesn't get to a point where violence becomes the other. We want to sumo protests. So that is sumo for more violence.
Ó fara pẹ́ wọ̀.
And I just hope, because I remember the last time we had such a kind of situation, it wasn't so good for this guy here. So
I know, right? That's 3-1.
3-1. Okay, you're counting our scores.
Oh,
Still
yeah.
counting. Thank you. Thanks so much, Mr. Miguel, for being a part of this.
Thanks
so much.
It's Alex.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
And
you.
to our viewers out there, please do well to subscribe. Aside
Subscribe,
from commenting,
please.
do well to subscribe. So it's
On
very,
your
very
notification and
important.
subscribe.
The more you subscribe, the more you get to see us,
Oh,
more.
yeah.
And this is Let's Talk About It. Until you come across us on the timeline next time, we're saying
Ciao,
bye
ciao.
to you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.